Scusa, c'è stato un piccolo problema tecnico. Sto cercando di contattare Nicolas per poter trasmettere questa diretta con lui. Intanto benvenuti a chi ha piacere. Nicolas. Eccolo. Forse così ci siamo. Ok. Vediamo se... Ciao Gaso, buonasera. E come vi dicevo prima, abbiamo un ospite d'eccellenza quest'oggi, Nicolas Saint-JEAN. Parleremo un pochino di quello che è il movimento Flair. Diamo la possibilità a chi aveva piacere di seguire questa diretta di potersi collegare. Io nel frattempo, eccolo. Vediamo se... Vediamo se riusciamo a collegarci con Nicolas. Per fortuna abbiamo la tecnologia dalla nostra parte quest'oggi, come questi periodi. There he is. Nicolas, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, and you?
Not too bad at all, not too bad. First of all, thank you so much for accepting my invitation to have a chat. We're going to be talking a little bit about bartending, a little bit about Flair, which is obviously, you know, you're a legend in the Flair movement, in the Flair world. I can't do Flair to save my life, I must admit, but I always appreciate those that can, because there's so much training, so much practice that is involved. So I'm going to introduce you in Italian first, and then we'll get going with some questions if that's okay.
Of course.
Excellent. Can you hear me well?
Perfect, and you?
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Ok, quindi ragazzi, eccoci qua. La tecnologia è dalla nostra parte anche quest'oggi. Sono veramente felice di poter scambiare due chiacchiere con Nicolas Saint-Jean, creatore del movimento Head-to-Head, fondatore di una sua scuola in Spagna, Flairmotion, e campione mondiale nel 2001 a Dubai, campione mondiale 2002 al Roadhouse di Londra, ha vinto il King of the Ring a Las Vegas ed è attuale Flair Ambassador per DeKuyper, l'azienda di liquori, appunto. So, Nicolas, how are you first of all? And you're in Spain, am I correct?
That's right, yeah. I'm good, thanks. I'm in Malaga, in the south of Spain, yeah. All good,
Okay.
thank you.
What's the situation in Spain at the moment?
Sorry?
The situation in Spain at the moment.
Well, it's pretty complicated. The bars are not open for very long, only like few hours during the day. Everything is changing very quickly. So one week, everything is closed. I think it's pretty similar. Maybe in Italy, it's closed and then they open quickly and then they close again. It's pretty dramatic, I would say. But I mean, people are forced to follow, you know, because COVID is real and the disease the virus is real. People get really sick and sometimes seriously badly sick, if not worse. So yeah, you know, so far so good. I cross finger, touch wood. But yeah, you know, it's crazy. It's a crazy situation, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Quindi ragazzi, chiedevo appunto come stava Nicolas, fortunatamente sta bene, e gli ho chiesto un pochino com'è la situazione in Spagna attualmente. Ovviamente come noi qui in Italia siamo un pochino obbligati a dover seguire le regole, come dice giustamente Nicolas, il Covid c'è realmente, ci sono delle persone che si stanno ammalando, siamo un pochino forzati a dover seguire quelle che sono le regole che ci vengono un pochino imposte. Quindi diciamo che speriamo di poterne uscire il prima possibile e meno danneggiati possibili. Okay, so Nicolas, I'm going to get going with some questions, if that's okay. If anybody has some questions that would like to ask Nicolas, I will do my best to ask him.
Okay.
I have a lot as well, so we'll try and keep everybody happy this way. So, when what came first, the passion for the bartending or the passion for Flair?
The passion for freedom
Okay. Okay.
First, and
yeah.
And the passion for bartending has what it has to offer.
Okay.
So I never dissociated Flair with mixologist, if you want to put a name to it, but the whole job altogether was very appealing because of the lifestyle it had to offer. So I was really about the lifestyle much more than the job itself.
Okay.
But the job was just perfect for what I was really looking for, because I wanted to get in touch, having a contact with people. I didn't want a job where I had to sit down, and I'm always been very super hyperactive. So it was, I would say, a combination of everything. Flair was just best for me because I'm hyperactive, so I needed to move, but I couldn't walk behind the bar and start flaring. It never happened. I walk behind the bar and I've learned first the cocktails. And you will not enter in a bar and people will say to you like, "Hey, okay, let's start flaring." Not at the beginning. At the beginning, it was like, "Okay, show me your cocktail skills," you know, and the way you make drinks, you know. So
yeah, absolutely. Quindi ragazzi, ho chiesto un pochino a Nicolas se avesse avuto prima la passione per il bar a differenza del Flair. Lui ci sta spiegando appunto il fatto che è stato un po' un complesso di cose. La cosa che l'ha fatto più a questo mondo è lo stile di vita che abbiamo avuto un po' tutti, penso, almeno all'inizio, chi ha avuto la fortuna di iniziare qualche anno fa, e il fatto che comunque lui è sempre stato iperattivo, non riusciva a stare fermo dietro il banco bar, non riusciva a camminare, quindi piano piano ha iniziato ha iniziato a praticare appunto determinati movimenti e working flair per sé. So how much training did Nicolas Saint-Jean go through?
Young all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
So I started late. I was nearly 24. So I started late.
Okay, but how much training in a day would you do?
Okay, so look. Wake up around whatever time, 6:37.
Okay.
Then that was in London. Then I will take the bus. Then I will go to the practice room. So it will take me whatever time, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. Then I will start at 9 o'clock in my private room. I had a squat, like a private room. So no, 8 o'clock, we start at 8 o'clock. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was 4 hours. Then at 12 o'clock, I'll have 1 hour break.
Okay.
Then 1 hour break, and then 2 o'clock. So 1 o'clock, I will start again. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, I have a break. Or maybe 6, 7, 8. Yeah, maybe 6, 7. So 4 until 12, then 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 8 I stop. So maybe 11 hours per day.
Wow.
And then I would go home and have dinner. So I will eat. So it was in TGI Fridays, in Bayswater, which is closed now. And I had a private room there. I managed to make a friend that became my student, Florian Baron. And I never used to flare with anybody. So, but that was the first days I would practice on top of my bed, and I would put the duvet on the floor.
Yeah.
So, but the training was either in my house, so in front of the bed, or in the nightclub where I would be working. So after closing down, I would still practice until the manager tells me, "Okay, Nicolas, I'm closing the bar." Then I would say yes, like 11 hours, and then go home, eat, and then before I go to bed, I would always first get very disappointed because the day was too short, and I was thinking, like, how am I going to do it? You know, it's too short. It goes so fast. It's like, how am I supposed to learn? How am I supposed to learn perfectly so many things? in a day, and I'm not lazy. I was thinking, I'm not lazy, man. I'm really trying hard, you know. I was like, I wake up at 7, I start at 8. I'm trying to be consistent, and because it's really, because the day was really short, you know, you couldn't go train and just throw bottles around, right? You really, I mean, in my case, it was very structured. It was a time for repetitions, a lot of repetitions on a lot of different moves, and then it will be a time of freestyle. So there will be a time where I would play with the music, especially with the beats and stuff like this. But yeah, I would say for the first years, it would be maybe 11, sometimes more. One day off on Sunday. And yeah, it might be crazy, but no stretching. I never used to really stretch.
Amazing. It takes.
I used to stretch when once my body got warm. Then I would do stretching, but before I wouldn't stretch. And yeah,
it's amazing. It definitely takes a lot of dedication, you know.
Because mentally, I think after I would review before I go to bed. I will review my moves, and so I would close my eyes and try to review the routine, because sometimes people don't understand, but it's really hard to remember not just a move, but 2 moves together and then the whole routine. Also, it's pretty hard. Some people, for example, out of 5-minute routine will remember 3.5, and then it will be 1.5 minutes of freestyle. They're gonna improvise. So to make back in the days, now they're much more professional, but this is the way it was. And I try to really do. I always believe that what would make difference would be how much practice you put into it, much more than you are born gifted. So I just practiced, and repeat. And I used to sleep. I used to find techniques like to do a little extra more. I used to sleep with 1 bottle in my hand at some point.
I can imagine.
Yeah, just to get the feeling, like, you know, just to wake up and see where the bottle would be. If it would be in my hand, on the floor, and so unconsciously teach my hands about feeling. I was experimenting at the same time. So, but now that I'm older, with the years of practice and the years of teaching, I kind of developed a sense of creating moves, because that was my way to be the best. It was to be new and very technical, but definitely more new. I was winning because it was different, in the sense of I was original. I brought a lot of moves on the competition. Absolutely. So this is the way I used to win, and now so I developed a way to train. So now mentally a lot is happening. So I can go in my basement right now, take a bottle and the shaker, and find a new move very quickly. And there's a difference between finding a new move and knowing a new move.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Knowing a new move, you need to practice to make it 10 times in a row, which is not my ambition at the moment, because I'm not competing. And so, but you could find a new move and something very different, or you could find a variation of a move which is not as rewarding, because it's a move that's been created before, either by you or by somebody else. And then when you find a new move, you need to practice it. Oh yeah, many hours.
I'm just going to translate this part, Nicolas, otherwise I'll get lost. Quindi, ragazzi, appunto chiedevo a Nicolas quanto allenamento faceva quando appunto era in preparazione per una determinata gara. Lui ci sta raccontando che erano una media di 11 ore al giorno, con determinate pause, colazione, e pranzo e cena che sia. Volentieri si ritrovava a dormire con una bottiglia in mano, giusto per avere sempre quel feeling della bottiglia. Spesso e volentieri si trovava a fare pratica anche sopra il suo letto, magari metteva il duvet per terra in modo tale che se cadeva la bottiglia non si rompeva. Comunque mentalmente cercando di creare un nuovo movimento, una nuova mossa, come viene. I'll be back to English in a minute, mate. E quando appunto cercava di studiare una nuova mossa, mentalmente si è preparati, però giustamente fisicamente bisogna fare veramente tanta pratica. Okay, Nicholas. So, how has Flair changed since you started?
Not much.
Come on. Yeah, I know this is a big question for you guys.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, since I've started, or
Yeah.
since I left?
No. Since you started.
Well, the truth, since I've started, like, a lot of things changed, but I don't know. I don't know how to answer this question. I don't know how to answer. Like, I mean, but when I started, nobody took Flair seriously.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I made it a job. So I was one of the first, maybe not the first, but one of the first ones to go on TV to do ads for Flair. I remember I used to make a competition, and one of the judges looked at his other colleague when I was flaring, and when I was flaring, he looked at his colleague and he said, like, kind of like, but it's not fair what I was doing. He was telling his friend, it's not fair. This guy is practicing all day long, right? Right?
Okay.
And I was flaring, and I heard him, and I was like, in my head, I was thinking, damn right, man. Of course, what do you expect? To go on stage and look like shit? Of course, I'm gonna practice all day long, man. So he was kind of pissed off. It was like he was saying, like, it's supposed to be just a hobby, you know, like, but he's killing the competition because he's practicing all day long. It's not fair on the others. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, there's a limit of time of practice, and I should be just average and stuff. So Flair changed a lot, since 2000, and I don't know. It was a big boom. It was new everywhere around the world. It was new in a sense of it was the first time it was really taken seriously. So for that, it became like a full-on entertainment, nearly extreme sport, but not really. About to become extreme sport, but it never became an extreme sport. And I tried to bring Flair to another level when I had been associated at the beginning with Red Bull. I was the first bartender to be sponsored by Red Bull. And from there, people really look at it like, whoa, Saint-Jean is sponsored by Red Bull, big deal. And then, so people get more credibility to Flair thanks to the brand, because the brand was at the time and still not sponsoring extreme sport. And then and today I don't know, like, it's to me it feels very, I don't know, I don't really enjoy the Flair these days. I appreciate the skills of other bartenders. I think they are very smooth and technical, and I like Giorgio, for example. It's very good. Out of the young talents, for example, I like his style. Find him sweet to watch and cool, and then he's doing things that is obviously requiring a lot of practice. So yeah, I like to watch this and stuff. It's cool. I like the way he goes about it. So with his hair, and then it's easy and it's cool. I really like it. And there's a lot of other people, of course. And technically, yes, I see a lot of people who are making moves and making it look easy, for example. But I don't really see so much Flair being established as a proper thing, you know, like I see Flair still being like tossing bottles around and being cool, and I just don't see it. I don't think still Flair has found his final destination, in a sense of like, okay, that's Flair, and it won't move from there.
Yeah, I see what you
and I don't think it's a lot missing, but Flair shouldn't be excluded behind the bar as something negative. It should be either embraced as like, oh, it's a Flair bartender and he's going to just use 10% of his skills to make a nice cocktail. And then it would be another moment where it would be, okay, now it's going to be extreme moves, so he steps out of the bar to make freestyle Flair something else. But step out of the bar, maybe not. Maybe step out of the working space, which is different.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain. But so the Flair has evolved in a sense of like, there's a lot of bartenders today that Flair. There's a lot of people that are creating moves with multiple objects. But in terms of style and personality, I think it's quite stagnant. I don't think we've seen something that in 2021 has created a new revolution.
Ok, ok. Quindi ragazzi, ho chiesto a Nicolas, comunque ci sta coinvolgendo tantissimo con i suoi pensieri, come è cambiato il mondo Flair da quando è iniziato lui. Lui ci ha raccontato un aneddoto quando appunto ci stava preparando per una gara dove stava facendo della pratica e uno dei giudici disse ad un altro giudice: cosa sta facendo questo ragazzo? Questo non è Flair. Lui giustamente si sentiva un pochino messo a disparte per questo motivo qui, perché comunque stava facendo pratica poco prima della gara in sé per sé. Ci sta dicendo che a suo avviso non è ancora il movimento Flair, il mondo Flair non è ancora arrivato dove potrebbe arrivare potenzialmente, si è un pochino fermato. Quello che ci sta spiegando è che comunque il mondo Flair è molto di più del semplice lanciare delle bottiglie. Giustamente è una di quelle pratiche che comunque richiede a mio avviso un'arte. Io personalmente non sono in grado, però mi rendo conto e apprezzo tantissimo l'allenamento che fanno alcuni di questi campioni, alcuni di questi ragazzi e ragazze che praticano il Flair, appunto, arrivano appunto dalle 11 alle 14 ore di allenamento quotidiane, quindi una cosa che sicuramente richiede un sacco di impegno e un sacco di lavoro. Okay, so Nicolas, how do you feel about being the only, that I know to this day, the only Flair ambassador? You know, obviously you were with DeKuyper, okay, and I think it's the only brand that has a Flair ambassador.
I think so. Yes, I feel weird. I feel crazy strange about it. Really, okay. It's like I could never be enough grateful for DeKuyper to support my beliefs and my journey to make a Flair, freestyle Flair, a real thing, a real sport. They've been supportive for the past 10 years, and they give me total freedom to express myself and to give videos to the Flair world that are, as you can see on my Instagram, totally freestyle, artistic, and not necessarily linked to make a drink. I leave this to maybe to other bartenders, and I don't know. Look, I went all in. I never looked back.
Yeah. I'm
gonna be 47 at the end of this month. I've been doing it for over 24 years now. I just I'm on a mission, and until I finish what I want to do, I just, like, if my body tells me stop because something happens, I stop.
You sound like the Zlatan Ibrahimovic who's Flair bartending.
Right? Who is it? Ibrahimovic, the football player.
Yeah, the football star.
I just don't know. I just like I see a lot of bartenders. It's true that are sponsored, but it's different. Yeah, it's not freestyle Flair, Flair Ambassador, World Flair Ambassador. Yes, I think I'm the last man standing. Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
Crazy. Imagine you're the last one doing that.
Yeah.
Imagine you're the only one who have. Imagine you're the only person with that job in the world. It's scary.
Oh yeah. It must be really nice, just to think about. Absolutely.
It's quite scary. It's quite rewarding in the sense of like respect and thank you for this opportunity. But the pressure is huge because sometimes it makes me feel like maybe I should step back and think of something else. But I'm so grateful for the opportunity and I look around and I cannot really ask anyone any advice on the job because there's nobody else who's having this job.
No, exactly.
So it's pretty intense and a lot of pressure and mentally The difficulty is more mentally with age, more than physically, I would say. Even though physically is also a big thing, but mentally it's hard. It's harder, much harder.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Quindi ragazzi chiedevo a Nicolas appunto come si sentisse essendo l'unico Flair bartender appoggiato ad un brand, in questo caso stiamo parlando di DeKuyper, e lui dice che si sente molto grato a svolgere questo ruolo, a parte il fatto che è l'unico che io sappia, correggetemi se sbaglio, Flair bartender appoggiato ad un brand. È molto contento del fatto che DeKuyper l'ha seguito nel suo viaggio, ha creduto nel suo essere Flair bartender e gli ha dato tantissima possibilità e spazio per esprimersi come meglio pensava, come meglio credeva. E mentalmente ci sta raccontando che comunque è abbastanza difficile, anche perché fa fatica, non ha nessuno con cui parlare, spesso e volentieri tra colleghi, anche se lavoriamo per brand diversi o rappresentiamo brand diversi, ci si può anche consultare a volte, no? Perché no? E lui fa un po' più fatica perché non avendo o conoscendo nessun altro nel suo ruolo, ha sicuramente delle difficoltà su questo punto di vista. Quindi sicuramente è uno di quei ruoli che ha abbastanza la pressione. Fantastic stuff. So, Nicolas, you've done a lot of competitions, okay? You've taken part in a lot of competitions. Is there anybody that you had more difficulties in competing against?
Of course. Back in the days, it was always me against Christians, Nicolas, Christian. It was a classic back in the days. The person that taught me a lot, eventually by losing, was a guy from Bali called Jos Malelak.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I was very new. It was my first World Championship, I think, which I lost. I finished second. And back in the days, you could go on stage in this competition. It was in Dubai. You had no time limit. You could go on for as long as you wanted.
Okay. Okay.
It was crazy. And then I used it wrongly because I went on forever, and I tried to make so many moves, and I dropped maybe 25 times. I don't know more. So, but I had a lot of new moves, and I had a lot of moves. I was super excited, but I had zero experience. And I remember what I've learned from him was he was smiling a lot.
Okay.
But he had this style, paradise, happiness style. He was smiling a lot. And it was charming a lot of the judges. I was more like Darth Vader with these moves and coming from the dark side. And I've learned that when you lose and you haven't obtained your objective, get your objective, you go in a crazy mode. And I wanted it so bad. I remember for me, it was not losing was never an option. Like okay. Even if I lost, in my mind, I was like, I'm just gonna come back until I win. I'll wait. He dies out of age. Maybe he's 82, and then when he die, I become number one. In my mind, I was thinking like this. And with Christian, yeah, we competed a lot. Not so many times. I think I beat him one time more than he did.
Okay.
And, but we didn't compete so many times. It was always either you finish first or I finish first. And if I finished second, he would finish first, and he finished first, I would finish second. But I used to get very mad because I used to think like, damn, I deserve to win and stuff. And I was so much into the game. I was so much into the competition that it was very hard for me to take a step back and see what was happening. And watching his competitions again and stuff, I realized that he was much smoother than I was. I was a pure artist. I was just creating paintings, moves, combos all the time. And sometimes it didn't matter in my mind if it took shape or perfectly. I just wanted to. I was creating a lot, you know. I would create a lot. And Christian would just take moves and put them together and when I was more focused on creating moves, you know, more than taking moves from others and try to put them together. And I was my own inspiration. I wasn't looking around. I was my own inspiration, and so for that, I give the guy credit. And you know, but I remember I would be mad a few times I lost. I would be like, no, it's not fair, man. It's like I should have won. I was young and very, very hungry, and yeah, for sure.
Excellent, excellent stuff. Quindi ragazzi, ho chiesto a Nicolas, dalle tante gare che ha partecipato, se c'era qualcuno, qualche avversario che era particolarmente difficile da battere. E giustamente ha menzionato un'altra leggenda del mondo Flair, che è Christian Del Pesce. Spesso e volentieri lui si ritrovava a creare movimenti nuovi, mosse nuove, come si può dire, nel mondo Flair, mentre magari altri competitor soprattutto cercavano di ripetere un pochino quello che magari era già stato fatto. È sempre stato molto competitivo nelle sue competition, anche se per qualsiasi motivo non si classificava primo, aveva sempre tanta fame e tanta voglia di ritornare. Mentalmente questa cosa incideva tantissimo, quindi ha sempre voluto ritornare a competere ai più alti livelli. So, Nicolas, what made you want to teach? What made you want to teach?
I fell into teaching from my early days because I was sponsored by Red Bull and I was on tour in the Middle East for 1 year, and part of the job was to teach the staffs from the bars. So for 1 year I was living in hotels from Dubai to Abu Dhabi to Lebanon, Jordan, even South Africa. And what I would do, I would do training in 2 different bars, and then I would do a show in the evening. So I didn't want to teach until I stopped competing.
Okay.
That was not me, but because I don't think you can teach good while you're still competing. Because I think you're not honest with yourself. Because when you're competing, you want to be the best. If you're teaching, you don't want to share your secrets. So
of course, yeah.
So, but it was so funny because at the beginning they would say, okay, Nicolas, then you have 1 hour, you have to teach those people. And I remember it was so hard. I had nothing to teach. It was really hard. And I remember I used to speak a lot about nothing. I used to speak a lot about nothing, and it was really difficult to do so. And I was a little stressed out of this, and this became a skill. So now every time I do a seminar in front of a lot of people, like on stage, I don't need to have anything prepared. I can go because I've done so many of them without wanting to.
Okay.
So it became very easy. And then when I stopped competing in 2004, this is when I said, okay, I'm going to open my school and I'm going to start teaching. And my teaching has been always with small groups that will come. My teaching originated in London. I would have people to come to my school in London. I would make them sleep over on airbed, and it would be like 8-10 people. I prepare breakfast for them. I would take them in London, center London, show them the cocktail bars. So it was really like you come to my house like my friend, and we share this experience. So you could really sense. You could get a really good sense of my life and what I was about. And I felt like if you had the same passion as me, I knew you already. So let's get straight down to business. And I never thought about if it's dangerous, safe, whatever. Any strangers would come to my house, and I had groups of like maybe 8-10 people sleeping over. And then after I took this concept of like Flair Camp, and I took it to the south of France. Then I took it to Sevilla, then in Spain, then in Malaga, and yeah. And then every time I move somewhere, I create this. This is a Flair Camp. But now I'm doing also online training, but not pre-recorded video, just live, like through Zoom. People who wants to learn, I can do this also online. But yeah.
Excellent stuff. Quindi chiedevo a Nicolas che cosa l'ha spinto a voler insegnare? Lui ci ha raccontato che ha deciso di iniziare ad insegnare quando ha smesso di competere. Nel 2004 ha aperto la sua scuola a Malaga, quindi se siete interessati potete sentirvi liberi di contattarlo perché è una persona super affabile. Ha aperto la sua scuola a Malaga e la sua volontà è stata di prima smettere di fare le competition e poi iniziare ad insegnare, perché ci sta raccontando che non competere e aprire una scuola pensando di poter insegnare non fa di te una persona onesta. Quando si compete ovviamente si cerca di essere migliori. Ci sta raccontando che la sua scuola ha fissa dimora appunto a Malaga, però aveva già insegnato quando lavorava con Red Bull per un tour del Medio Oriente, appunto aveva già iniziato ad insegnare mentre lavorava con Red Bull. Quindi è una cosa che fondamentalmente fa comunque già da tempo. La scuola è fondamentalmente un'estensione a casa sua, quindi è un'esperienza che si vive in prima persona, colazione la mattina tutti insieme e si inizia subito a lavorare tutti insieme. Quindi per chi fosse interessato, mi raccomando, potete contattare Nicolas. I'm just telling people that if anybody is interested in your school, they can contact you directly. I know you're a really nice person, so that would definitely be done if anybody is interested. Okay, Nicolas, I'm not going to hold you for much longer. One last question from me. Do you have any advice apart from contacting you for anybody that wants to start, Flair?
Yeah, for sure. I think you need to love it.
Yeah.
Love what you do, and the rest doesn't really matter. I think it's like if you take away tomorrow my sponsorship, I don't think you'll be able to take away my smile every time I'll be with a bottle in the shaker, because this is who I am. This is what I want to do. I'm not. I think if you're faking it, you won't last.
Yeah.
And if what you do if what you do happens to be your true love, you'll be there for the rest of your life. So this is just who I am. I'm not here to be famous about it. It's just like I do my job. My job is to entertain online, making videos of what I love, which is the new moves and stuff. And I've so much more to give, but I will never try to do something that is not me. So that's because I love what I do. You can learn a lot of moves in schools, but the best student doesn't need a teacher. The best students learns alone. The only thing you could learn online, I think, is what we do. It just speaks to someone that gives you the right direction in order for you to be motivated and to do the right thing. You need to think two things. It's like, why do you flare, and can you live from it?
Yeah.
If you are flaring because you love it, you don't need to think, can you live from it? If you're flaring because you want to make a job out of it, you need to think if there is a job out of flaring today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're in 2021. The situation is hugely complicated all around the world. You need to have, you cannot just be it's hard to say that because this is who I am, but you cannot just be just a Flair bartender. You know, I used to judge mixology competitions. I have more friends in mixology than in Flair. I used to judge the Bacardi Legacy in Miami, Puerto Rico, the finals also in Australia. I was a judge of a mixology competitions. So I am known as a Flair bartender, but I have done so much also in mixology. But nobody knows about it and nobody cares because they watch my Flair skills, and this is my.
I think you're definitely more known for your Flair.
Of course. Absolutely. Zero in mixology. But if you've been in those big competitions, you must have seen me as your judge. I was judging the final 12 in the Australian final of Bacardi Legacy. I was coaching them before they go on stage. Nobody knows this. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, like, to answer your question, yes, you need to love what you do, be consistent, be disciplined, follow your dreams, always aim higher than your original dream. So when you fall, you always get back to something very high. Don't listen to others. Do what you think is right for yourself. And don't try to help others so they will help you, because this is not going to happen. You need to do what you think is right for you. And only when you are ready, you can share yourself with other people. Don't expect anything from, I always say, do not expect anything. Just expect respect. You need to be respected. And in order to be respected, you need to be honest with yourself. Do whatever you think is real for you. If what makes you happy, what you love. If it's not what you love, it won't last.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very wise words, Nicolas. Absolutely. Quindi, ragazzi, ho chiesto a Nicolas se aveva dei consigli per chi voleva approcciare questo mondo. Lui ci ha dato dei consigli un po' più generali, non solo per chi si volesse avvicinare al mondo Flair, ed è appunto: amate quello che fate, perché se non amate quello che fate non dura. Siate competitivi, siate ambiziosi, fatevi rispettare in qualche maniera, però siate affamati. Quindi questi sono i consigli che ci sta dando, appunto, non solo per chi ha piacere di avvicinarsi al mondo Flair, ma anche dal mondo, appunto, dal punto di vista di mixology, che è Nicolas magari veniva conosciuto. Nicolas, thank you so much for your time. It has been an absolute pleasure. I have a great memory of you back in 2010 at the finals of the Absolute Vodka Talent Show.
Yes,
Mancini won, and you put on one hell of a show, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, was awesome. I was pissed off on that day.
Why? What happened?
Nothing with nobody. It was just like personal issues, and I was pissed off. When I'm pissed off, I focus much more.
Okay.
So I was like, when I'm pissed off, I know Flair is going to be a great place to escape. Anton, I want to just finish this by saying, first, thank you so much for having me on your program. I really appreciate what you do for bartenders and the industry. I think we need more of this. Thank you for your questions. They were very different and interesting. And one last thing I want to say to people, that whatever they think about Flair bartending, I've been here for nearly 24 years. Something happens tomorrow, I'm not there anymore. All my knowledge is produced in 10 seconds in a video. The one thing I want people to remember is, like, if you ever take a bottle in your hand, and if you ever want to Flair, regardless of how much money you're going to make, remember that if I'm in the game, it's for two reasons. Because I want you to become the best ever that you will ever find in Flair bartending, and number two, because I'm doing it for the lifestyle. So in order to accomplish those two, I follow my instinct, something that you've been taught to forget in this society. Don't forget about your instinct. Feel the moment, feel what you have to do, anticipate is the key to surviving these days. Thank you.
Assolutamente. Ragazzi, Nicolas ci sta salutando con, secondo me, degli aneddoti molto molto belli. Lui dice: io questa scelta l'ho fatta perché ho seguito mi è sempre piaciuto lo stile di vita e ho seguito il mio istinto. Come diceva anche prima, amate quello che state facendo, e se non amate quello che state facendo non durerà. Non prendete su una bottiglia per fare delle evoluzioni pensando di poterci guadagnare se non è quello che veramente pensate e di seguire i propri sogni, sicuramente. Nicolas, again, thank you so much for your time, my friend. I hope to see you soon at some trade expo of ours at some point in the near future.
Perfect, why not? Thanks,
Okay.
Anton.
All the best, my friend. Cheers.
Thanks, man. Thanks to you. Take care.
Bye. Quindi ragazzi, approfitto ancora per ringraziare Nicolas Saint-JEAN, io mi sono divertito veramente tanto. Vi ricordo di seguirci sui nostri canali social, sia di Facebook che di Instagram, e guardare sui canali YouTube tutte le nostre dirette che vengono caricate mano a mano che appunto le facciamo. Grazie mille a tutti voi che ci seguite e una buona serata a tutti. Ciao!